Okay, so let me see if I can get this situated where I can get to the mouse and still have access to my mic. Okay, so welcome back everyone to Tabletop Hazards. I am Zuzuma, And we are playing the same game we played last time. We tried to do more streaming than we actually did. I was almost ready to do stream Monday, but then there was like this electrical lightning storm. And I say lightning because you could actually see the lightning from outside my window. Hello, Jade! And hello, 121. So there's 121. And then JD. Oh, I did that wrong. Hold on. I'm trying. There's supposed to be an ad break in progress. Maybe I have to do shout out. I'm still learning. Or remembering. JD. No, that's not right either. What am I doing wrong? Oh, whatever. You know I'm trying to shout out to you, Jade. Maybe I'll remember it when I'm actually not thinking about it. That's the worst part. It's all good. Thank you for understanding. And let's see if we can get the game to load up. I know there's like an ad right now, but I think one of us has at least got a... I think I know why I did that. Okay, let's see if it'll... Not. I'm in the middle of an ad because I had to restart. Oh, okay. The ad break should be over in a little bit, but it says 6 seconds on the OBS, but... Hey! Hey, can you hear me now? I am doing well. How are you doing? Because this next part of the trial I prefer to do keyboard, I'm gonna have to use the phone to monitor the chat. Twitch wished me to do something resin. What? Resin. Why? That don't make sense. Anyway, let's see if it's saved. This game will begin where I left off. And sure enough, we are right where we left off last time. So now we have gotten all the clues together. Supposedly... Where is the buttons? Yeah, okay. Okay, Monokuma found 5. Let's see. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with the knife. Which went completely through its body. Went through the body. They also had been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. The explosion had burnt up the upper half of the body beyond recognition. The upper half of the body remained on fire and had to be extinguished. Because of this, the upper half was soaking. I imagine this has something to do with the sprinkling system. Thank you for the lurk, Jade. I hope you have a good day at work. I know you're probably busy saving lives at the moment and can't hear me. The body was wearing notable long fake nails. The body had a tattoo of a dog on the back of the right hand. There were bits of a charred debris near her body. It should be noted that the bomb, which had been removed from Monokuma in the gym, had disappeared. It's hard to imagine these two events are unrelated. Sprinklers are programmed to come on every morning at 7:30, and this time is impossible to change. As such, it can be assumed that if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, it would have gotten wet. 7 a.m. when the body was found. 7 a.m. Makoto wakes to the morning announcement. 7:30, Makoto and Aoi arrive at the dining hall. Between 7:30 and 9 a.m., Makoto meets the others in the gym, and together they head to the headmaster's room. 9 a.m., Toko is told to find the pickaxe in the garden, where she discovers the body. The knife found near the body was the same knife that was used to stab it before the explosion. It is also the same knife that Toko had given Makoto. Oh my goodness, phone. Why would you do this to me? A clefable is in the chat. Catch it. It is also the same knife that Toka had given to Makoto for safekeeping, and the knife the masked assailant was holding onto when they attacked Makoto. This is going to be a lot of defending myself at first, or later on. The tarp was hidden among the other items in the tool shed. One side was wet and filthy with grime and mud. The other side was completely clean and dry. The number of chickens in the chicken coop had decreased from 5 to 4. Yashiro claims there were, without a doubt, 5 chickens just before nighttime last night, and yet... Byakuya stated that there was no corpse in the garden just after nighttime last night, so it can be assumed the murder must have taken place sometime after that. Byakuya also said that he, Yashiro, Toko, and Aoi were in the gym the entire night, and none of them were alone at any point. The corpse had a mask covering its head, and a white jacket covering the body. A knife had been thrust into the abdomen, and there were blood stains around the wound. The body had stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. It was noted, however, there was no blood on the ground around the body. Clefable escaped. No one caught it. Sorry, 121. Mukuro Ikusabi, female, known as the ultimate soldier. She became obsessed with the military from a young age. She disappeared while on vacation in Europe and reappeared in Japan 3 years later. Apparently, every member of Fenrir gets a tattoo somewhere on their body to represent their membership in the group. Apparently, the killing game began with 16 participants, all students. It is assumed that Mukuro Ikusabi was the 16th student. Monokuma also revealed that the reason Kyoko wears gloves is to hide something she doesn't want anyone to see. The wood block decoration was found in Kyoko's room. It looks like it's actually the key to one of the lockers in the dojo. A set of titanium arrows was found in the dojo locker. There appear to be 10 in total. Along with the arrows, there was also a wadded up ball of duct tape in the locker. The duct tape had traces of blood on it. It's assumed that this is related to the case, but nobody can imagine how. And so that's it. That is a whole lot of detail, just as we're about to enter the trial. So, everyone ready? Whoa, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together.
Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word.
We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point?
Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to go off together? Just the two of you? Whoa, are you jealous?
Hey.
Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself?
What?
Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. But We stood there for a full 5 minutes, waiting something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma showed up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again.
What should we do? Should we keep waiting here or... Or what?
What?
Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that?
What? I made you wait? You got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait.
Huh?
In other words,
I'm waiting everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here, now can we?
What are you talking about? Everyone is here.
We've all been waiting for you. Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, and so it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? If we all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now.
If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look.
hey,
I'm here, and no rule's been broken. Kyoko!
Kyoko, you're still alive.
No! That's a ghost! No more innocents followed your channel! Let's go! Kyoko is here!
Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at cross trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong?
You're so selfish, so spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later. Shing! No, I'll make you sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts into the elevator. I'll be one step ahead of you.
When Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. I'm sorry if my Monokuma voice is too sharp. She survived. Is this Ace Attorney? No, this is not Ace Attorney, my friend. This is Danganronpa. And welcome to the chat. I noticed you followed. Thank you for that. Yes, Kyoko somehow survived. I figured she did, but now brings up the question. Did she kill Mukuro Ukusabi? And if she did, is she gonna pin the blame on us? This is not Ace Attorney, this is Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. It is the first game in its series. And there was an actual popular anime that came off of the game. We are about to hit the class trial. There's a trial every chapter. You missed a bunch if you're not familiar with this series. Also, like I was trying to say earlier, if my Monokuma voice is too sharp or pitchy, please let me know. I have no idea how the sound effects will sound in the video. Yeah. Kyoko! So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die.
Thank goodness, I'm so glad you're okay.
Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right! Now we gotta deal with the ghost!
I told you, stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it at the trial. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator.
Master, wait for me.
Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But
I'll be happy when this trial is all over.
One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you. Where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So...
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras up there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I've also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then, when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down, just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go to a trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then that's what the key you found goes to?
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the door in the school. What? Kyoko's account has been added to the truth bullets.
Just a second. Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go over all the details after we get through the trial. Okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment for me so far. For her? That's a strange way to put it. The class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. And the door slid shut. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We all just stood there, silent and still. Oh, that reminds me of something. If you guys are going through an ad, and I don't know about it, go ahead and use the redeem, take a break. That way it lets me know, hey, there's an ad. Wait until the ad's technically officially over, according from the OBS. There is an ad. Take a break. There's an ad going on. Oh, okay. Let me check something real quick. It doesn't look like there's one. It doesn't look like there's one right now on the thing, but this is going to be a big trial and we're already 25 minutes in. I started early on purpose because I didn't know how long this trial was going to be. Oops, I will have to get rid of that TGH.
This is the song that plays when you have to go pee. Take a bathroom break.
Yes, that is right. So I am going to take a 10-minute break and we'll be right back to start the official trial. And we're back. I was waiting to get back into the thing without ads, so because ads are starting to show up, so of course. Alright, so let's see if I can summon this. Yeah, I summoned it. Okay. We stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time. Sorry, I had to change my seat position. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair. Oh, this.
I can't wait! I can't wait! Oh, I've been waiting for this. It feels like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs had passed.
Thrills, chills, kills!
Let's get on with the show.
And so, the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate, a deadly class trial. Yeah. We'll, go ahead. I know it seems silly, all these saved files, but... see. I'm allowed to have more, right? Yes. Okay. Why can't I? Okay. Tranquility seems to be the better option for me than cool and composed. Increases bullet capacity. Effective during the bullet time combat. Costs 4. Increases when damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. So, I think that's all I can do. Let me check something. Kyoko used Monokuma's secret tool, which grants access to any room in the school, to sneak into the 2nd floor of the dorms. This area seems to have no cameras or monitors. Alright. Trial. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Hagakure? Yashiro? Bro?
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
her traits?
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Alright, let's see if I remember how to do this. A wild murkrow appears in the chat. Tattoo right hand, exploded body analysis, fake hands. I think it's the tattoo on the
That
right.
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Oops.
That Kyoko...
Aim, open handbook. This doesn't help me at all with something. Hold on just a second. Murkrow has been caught. Congratulations, 121. Okay, so I'm back.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
I know the body isn't Kyoko's and I know I can prove it. Alright, so let's look at what we got here. I was waiting, I had to pull out the controller for the test thing because I don't remember what the test had some of it before. That Kyoko there is just a ghost. Impossible. Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost. The dead body wasn't wearing gloves. They got burned up in the explosion. Then how she was wearing gloves before the explosion? How does that work out? Okay, this conversation must be too stupid for me to figure out because I gotta think on this one a bit. Because I'm dealing with an idiot. I have to lower my intelligence a little bit. Okay, then prove she's not a ghost. The dead body wasn't wearing gloves. Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion. She must have been wearing gloves. So
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
I just gotta remember my buttons.
That
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is
How
absolutely
did I miss?
Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
I know what the answer is, but I just need to choose it in the right order, I guess.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
Okay, so I was right. I did it right.
No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember?
Cool, and I got it right the first try. I didn't know if what was the right order or whatever.
I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
Excuse me?
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
I feel you, Byakuya. I feel you.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Sprinklers, exploded body, tattoo on right hand.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Wrong.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
No, that's wrong.
Woohoo!
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
To compare the tattoo to other information we have, the victim's identity should be clear.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that Fenrir is only 3 words, right? F. Oh! Wolf! I was gonna say dog.
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir.
Huh.
So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this, no matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place.
Monokuma's had enough.
Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
You can only be 2 suspects. Yeah.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The 4 of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs.
A wild tyrant. Well, imagine dealing with children who argue against. A wild tyrant has appeared in the chat. Yes, I forgot to look at the chat. Oh.
All of which is to say, the 4 of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya
Congrats.
can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at...
Congrats on the catch 121.
Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
I mean, he was right.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
The body was discovered at 9 o'clock.
The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it?
Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock. So it's probably 9 on the dot now.
Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay, it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Make your argument. Sprinklers exploded or fragments to your body. I think it would be the sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Okay, this one's easy.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
How's it not right?
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Okay, so from 10 o'clock to 7:30. The only option I have is to hold for the 10 and go for the 7:30, or vice versa. So let's see if we can do that.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Okay, so it has to be the other way around.
Shoot!
But I messed up.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time. We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, so what am I doing?
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
And I already did that one. Oh, come on.
Shoot!
I'm gonna fail this because...
We've established a time frame for the murder.
This is not okay.
It took place somewhere between and 9 o'clock. Yep. And
Yeah, from to 7:30.
that's more than enough time. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Okay, so we have the exploded body analysis. Okay. Sprinklers. So I have to contradict using the sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
There we go.
No,
See,
it's
easy.
wrong. Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
That wasn't what I was saying at all.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler...
Oh, so thank you for the bless you on the sneeze. There's a bit of a delay on the chat here, and the one from, so I don't know why. That great old question, is water wet? I need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. A moment of truth.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything!
Why is you...
Hold on! Are you trying to blame me?
Alright, that's it.
Nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove it.
Okay, I am running on no hearts. Oh, that's awful.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was
because
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which means that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone that...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
A wild grubbin has entered the chat.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Could it have been... Oh, I hate to say it, but...
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Uh-oh. She is throwing us under the rug, big time. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want me to look at the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's going to think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Body before explosion. Exploded body analysis.
By covering the body with the
And
tarp,
fragments.
the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
That's
No,
wrong.
that's wrong. Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Grubbin has been caught by Jade. Congratulations,
Well,
Jade.
maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
What? Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Which must mean... Poor little chicken. No animals were hurt in the making of the game, huh?
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
Oh, thank you.
But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange.
Here I thought
Maybe
the killer
they
wanted to
didn't
eat some
apply the blood
chicken.
at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
Maybe.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
Yes.
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Wait, what?
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh,
Yes.
no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And suspicion falls back on me again, but why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. This guy's dead body has been added
Well
to...
then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh,
See? Pretty good idea, right?
no, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
Oh no, here
That's
we
what I thought
go.
when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do.
I don't want it anyway.
So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in
thank
the
you for the
body came
hydrate.
from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up until now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. But what are you gonna use? Disguised dead body, exploded body, fragments near the dead body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Okay. And put the controller back in. I had to undo it during the bullet time. Okay, no more auto. No more auto. Okay. Let me put the controller back in because I know the buttons for it better than anything else. Alright, so true bullets. Alright, let me look at this to make sure I know what I'm doing. Gave to Makoto. Getting stabbed. Okay, let me undo this and check the truth bullets again, just to be sure.
The knife we
Exploded body
found lodged in the dead
analysis.
body.
It's the
Disguise
same one we gave to Makoto.
fragments
It really is, isn't it? I was
near the
afraid
dead
of that.
body.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
No. I tried it.
Shoot.
I only have like one shot left, really.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Okay, let me go up. Wait. This is a clue. We've already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed. Which means the knife was thrust through the coat into the body. Okay, I got it! I got it! I got it! I got it!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed him.
Haha!
No, that's wrong.
No game over yet. A wild dolphin appears in the chat. Sleepwalking.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what
Wait,
killed
what?
Mukuro.
Sleepwalking? Were you sleepwalking? Or maybe I was? I don't know. I didn't understand.
That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot. There's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. Okay. Want to help me here? The victim had been stabbed a single time. Yeah, it says it right here.
I got it!
I'm
the
not dead
Monokuma
yet.
file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Dolphin
it
escaped.
Sure did.
No one caught it.
Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but... what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Ah, so rude.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
No.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
The only explanation I think of for the explosion.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Behold.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that
Kyoko.
is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Monokuma file number 5. I only have one option.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
The knife was a cover-up. Okay, so I have to pay attention. The only thing in my bullet would be the Monokuma file. But so let's pay attention to the evidence we got. We're in the thick of it now. Due to the explosion, the victims were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which had been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. It's covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. Okay, so what does... The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct? The explosion, the knife, the hit on the back, the countless wounds. Is it wanting me to confirm something? This is gonna get ridiculous. With all this plugging in and plugging out. Alright. That's what you're hearing, is me plugging in and controlling out. Because I don't know my controls. Ugh. This game didn't have to be so complicated.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Okay. So, if this doesn't work...
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her
it
for
got
sure.
blocked.
I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate?
Fast finger
The
go.
victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Actually.
No, that's wrong.
Yes! Oh, hello, Web! Thank you for coming into the chat.
Mukuro
And there
died
is
because of
a
the blow to the
commercial.
back of the head she suffered.
Okay, we'll better wait till the commercial's over with. It's not much longer. Because I can see the commercial on my end from the... When I say my end, I say Zuzuma Cat Falls. So, the ad's about over. Anyway, okay, we're back. Thank you for joining in, Wab.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
So you're a romance novelist, huh?
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
For
We
once
want to
they
figure
agree.
out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The real murder weapon? Is it this one? I'm a little confused.
I got it!
Oh yeah!
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Bloody duct tape, wood block key, titanium arrows.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
She does have a valid point. If it was just that titanium arrow, which is why they used.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Shoot!
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
It shrunk away. A wild barboach appears in the chat.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Got it!
No, that's wrong.
You tried, but you can't get away from me that easy.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Barboach escaped. No one
Damn,
thought
that's
it.
harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Yeah, you do.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is... right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime.
I'm glad
This
he's on
all
my
proves
side.
that you are the true culprit.
But
You
at the
can't
same
explain
time, I
this
got an
away,
uneasy
so just
feeling.
give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just... there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? Does that mean she... She knew I was being attacked. And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
What? Yakuyo should know better than anyone? What does that mean? When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's
Oh,
proof
no.
that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Oh!
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
I got an idea, guys. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna have to plug the controller back
Those
in.
words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No!
That's the
Mom!
proof.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
Oh.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
Something's... No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us, an obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. Try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid for us. The Mastermind's trap. The Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko, but what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The Mastermind's trap. The victim was Murkuro and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The Mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here, right now, whether or not to dispose. That is a very good question. And unfortunately, I am going to take a break. This is becoming intense. I don't know what to do. Oh, I hate to think that there are multiple endings in this game. But I don't even know what the lie is, man. Oh, I don't even know what the lie is. I don't know if I should spoil myself and go for the good ending for the sake of everyone in the chat. If there is an option to choose badly, or... Okay. I am going to take a 15-minute break, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright, we are going to get back into it. Not quite 15 minutes, but hey. Wanted to wait till the ads was over with. So let's see if it shows up. Yes, it has. Oh, I'm not ready. But I'm going to go with my gut. Can't dwell on this forever.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko's definitely lying, and it must be because there's some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden. Kyoko's account.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
Kyoko herself told me before the trial started that she had stolen something very important from the headmaster's room.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
No, that's wrong. No, Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to be precise, not quite. I use Monokoma's secret tool, which can open any lock in its school. What?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school. Which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out! So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Oh, I have a bad
I guess
feeling.
We already know who the blackened is, don't we?
No! I think we fell into the trap. Kyoko, no. Good job, you got it right. Brilliantly right. We got it right. You don't have that ball to catch the Umbreon. Hopefully you get it. Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko!
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
Is everyone ready? Okay then.
Oh, too bad 121. Oh, you didn't catch Umbreon. Oh. Bad news all around. I can't watch. I can't watch this either. I got to though.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Kyoko has been found guilty. Time for punishment. After school lesson. She's shaking, isn't she? And angry. Or she's at fear. The blood's rushing to her head. Oh, now she's scared. Kyoko. She's thinking about pizza. No, not pizza. I'm afraid. And that's how the class trial Mukuro Ukusabi came to an end. Oh. If she was thinking about pizza, it was flat crust.
Bam, bam, bam.
Brick. Okay. Now the dreaded part was over. I still have to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent or I really like the characters, so sad she had to go. I do too. You form a bond with them. The truth was lost forever, even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mukuro's class trial. And in the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once that case was over, there was never a single murder at Hope's Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others.
Really? Wait, hold on!
Something's not right here. Just like he said, you all had the same wife. No, Toka wasn't even involved at all. They just peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope. This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Huh?
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Her claim. Oh, that's right. I have to. Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? Okay, so we do have the option to go back. Okay, so that was the bad ending. Another chance. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be a secret in here. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room, that it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
Oh, yeah, creator, when asked about what happened to Tuck in the bad ending, he said, I don't know, I guess she exploded or something. So it was the bad ending. I mean, that fits, she exploded once. Also, welcome in, Ali Boom. Thank you for joining us in the chat. I had no idea.
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What?
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Oh, wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the
I feel like we
lever
got
in
another
front of
bad
you.
ending.
Voting time?
Hey, I got an A. That was like one of the hardest trials, and I got an A on it. Nice. I only got 79 medals for it, though. Woo.
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Also
Hey,
got
hold on!
What's it gonna
achievement
be?
for that,
What's it gonna
apparently.
be?
Uh-oh. Makoto is guilty. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
It's all your fault. Byakuya knows.
Yes, indeed.
Good job.
Yep.
They got it right. No, I know that's not true. No, none of any of this makes sense. The whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
It's the same as always. Just like all the other class trials. I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills, kills!
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment.
Wait, why do I... Kyoko. Kyoko!
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
So I die. So I really am gonna die? Oh yeah, I'm dying. Oh no! I don't want to die! I got the actual rank though! After school lesson. Oh, he's angry, and then he gets scared. Oh, now I'm just mad at this point. Chihiro! Oh, let's go! I mean, I might die. Oh dear. Chihiro saved us!
What?
Huh? Huh? What's this? What's going on? Hey, wasn't that...
Yeah, it had to be.
This is...
Alter ego.
Alter ego? This is some stupid virus from that stupid guy. He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Nah, I don't believe this.
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us.
Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt the thing. It was a pinch, an itch. This stupid virus is gone now. Got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again.
Yaha!
To waste away in the garbage strew pit. In a way, that's even better special punishment.
Yeah, they never really fully explain how he survives that. Same way... You ever heard of Undertale? You know how the kid survived from a long hike, down the mountain into a flower twice in the story? That's how he did it. He landed on a bunch of flowers.
But still, it's not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world.
Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko, what's the meaning of this? You're the one knows I'm innocent. Just what is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time. Huh?
In other words...
Now it's the masterminds that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about? A wild Fromantis appears.
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands out at the center of the entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school privilege. They say if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to know to attend this school. Or you need to attend. One, you have to already be attending high school. Two, let me put the thing back since I don't really need to use the mouse anymore. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way is if you were scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gates of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. Fomentus escaped. No one caught it. Nyeh. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be too weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I ever been in before. What is going on? My sentiments exactly. Finally. Oh. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again. And then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. The trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there until I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Our alter ego saved me. And he used up the last little bit of his strength to do so. So I can't give it up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was starting to look for a way out of there. This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. That's a rocket and a tank. I remembered the rocket from like the beginning of the game. The tank. Where did the tank come from again? I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. Is that an airplane? How did something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? It's locked. No matter how many times I push or pull or kick at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are all around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling down out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. What? The strange sound pierced my isolation and jarred me awake. as I watched a pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from above. What could it have been? Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was. I want to sleep for an entire day. I do too. I think we all do.
It smells awful.
Oh, Kyoko!
Indeed.
And you look like you're doing better than expected. Than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. Oh, you got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you! I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Pop goes the weasel. Yes! Pop goes to Kyoko. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Phew, that really hit the spot. Now I got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. But Kyoko, why did you come here to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So, you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, that's not what I'm trying to... Not that I'm trying to make excuses, but... There was a reason I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive...
In other words...
Is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak.
Indeed.
That's right. At least I did once. Once? Until recently, I've forgotten what that was. You forgot? But that's... I have no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible.
Huh? Amnesia?
Then, is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that? So, she's the ultimate soldier, not Mukuro Ukusabi. She's the ultimate soldier, and I bet she does have the finger on her gloves. Or somewhere on her body. But that doesn't explain some other things, like the profile she had under her sheet. Because the only reason we knew about that is because of the letter she gave us. But was her information incorrect? And she is the ultimate shoulder. Never cook again. Tabletop hazards. Muscle flats? Did I get it right? Right, wrong emoji sent first, bro. I hate my phone. What a plot twist. Yeah, I think she is the ultimate soldier. Never cook again. Flats, death. So I'm probably wrong. Did I make something very horrendous? Oh, who knows? We gotta keep going.
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine what happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying that you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean, somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But what if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make it too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind. One of us? If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself. Which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could be the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Ugh. It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh, yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right? I've already accepted that this is a virtual reality of sorts. But to what degree?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. A wild side deck appears in the chat. I guess we talked to her again? You said you had a reason for all that investigating on your own. So, how did that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. Wow, okay. So I was way off the mark. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my ooh. Ah, come on. Did they just do like the Star Wars Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker? situation. Catch that side deck 1-1. What?
In other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. No, Kyoko, I am your Psyduck escaped. No one caught it.
That
Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak headmaster? Then that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way.
Huh?
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
The cost. Star Wars fan when a character has a dad. Is that a Star Wars? I'm not exactly a fan per se. I mean, I'm not head over heels. I know of the show and the general plot. I never actually had the opportunity to watch it, though. So I haven't seen any of the movies. At all. Hi, Jade! So I haven't seen any of the Star Wars movies. I also have not seen Star Trek. I only know of them because of what other people have said. You know, I pay attention, piece some stuff together, look at memes. I would like to watch Star Wars at some point. I would like to find it and like watch the whole series in order. I know what I want for my birthday. What do you want for your birthday, Jade?
So,
Time to do a movie night. I want you to watch Star Wars. You set it up and I'll join. That's all I'm going to say. I don't have the movie and I don't know where to find it, and I'm not going to buy Disney Plus just to watch it, or Hulu. I already have Netflix. Start with episode 4, not 1. You know, I've heard that, but I didn't know that was important. I thought it was a joke. 4, 5, 6, down 1, 2, 3. Oh boy, count with me. My memory hadn't come back to that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. And so on. That's what we'll do for your birthday, Jade. We'll have a movie night in the Discord. We'll find a way. We'll find a way. We'll start with 4. When he said that, I felt strange. It made perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. If I'm available that night, like I said, we gotta fit it around your schedule. It can't be exactly on your birthday, but we'll figure something out. I know this upcoming Saturday is Pokemon D&D, so at least that's the plan. And if nobody shows up for that day, or it has to be canceled, then we'll probably plan for a movie night. And if you're not available that night, we'll just do something else. I found Mario Party, by the way. So I can do Mario Party on the Switch now. Would you believe it? I found it when I was looking for something else. Isn't that how it always goes? Anyway, back to the game. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear, so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess and desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had to be in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's the layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Murkuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have had some kind of private room there. I assumed that if it was true, that room would be likely to hold more clues. So I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remember my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like? The part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is... The moment I saw it, I realized... Whatever going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. And I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important. And really ominous.
However...
Of course... It has to do with Mukuro Ukusaba, doesn't it? Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ukusabi was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind, they knew that they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimum restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Murkuro Ukusabi. What's that? There was a point where Murkuro may have not become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... during the night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. That went into a completely different direction. What? I can hear the Reaper as he moves. That's a better way of saying it out of my mouth. I'm not comfortable of acknowledging. I don't care if it's in the games. I don't like to partake in paganism. That's what we Christians usually call other religions. So I'm just gonna stay with my fancy words of reapers and whatever. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway.
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. It gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all had to be the work of the mastermind, an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So this would all mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. This is going on for a while. Just get to the point. We've kind of put together all these pieces. I'm not too much of a child. I can actually use common sense at this point. I didn't get Fs. I only got like 1, maybe 2 Cs. But that's really bad if true. It means that the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wants to use his class trial to try to kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed a class trial to kill me, but it seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. There's quite a bit of yap. Oh, well. Yeah, there is. Get to the point!
In other words,
The mastermind is the one who's been cornered.
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other one? There's no doubt that Mukuro is the ultimate despair and that she's dead. I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. It doesn't really get better in 2 and B3, by the way. It's still a lot of late game. Oh, well that's something I have to look forward to when I stream those later. I do plan on streaming all the available games for Danganronpa, including the Sisterhood one. I'm gonna take a small break after Danganronpa to do like the vegetable horror game, the cooking horror game, and then I might start up the second one. Seems appropriate. You're talking about
That's right.
What happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair.
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Where did the junk food, junkie come from, though? Dream Island rocket present. Ah, boy. 5 alive. That's what I got for accomplishing Chapter 5. A wild Pachirisu appears. Catch it! Catch it! Quick question. Can you actually catch shinies in Pokemon Community Game? Oh, I probably should save. Yes. Oh, cool. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused a tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Yeah, I got 100 shiny Arceus. No joke, no scam. Okay, it was a joke and a scam. I almost believe you. There was just this little fraction. I'm like, nah. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now,
Anyway,
Right now, we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Kyoko? We have a way to open this door. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Pachirisu has been caught by both 121 and JDJ Love. Nice job, you two. Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room.
indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolute vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in a school, right?
That's right.
Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey Kyoko, we can use that key if we were to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. They slid in a keyhole and then... Yes, it opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it landed. How did you survive? Dun dun dun! We climbed into the darkness. The passage was so long and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you sleep, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I am getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off of it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. We're gonna dismiss that upcoming ad. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among the actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like a family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. I like that. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, but I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must do to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains it. So that explains, before I came here, I was looking up info about the school online. I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing that it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, was because of how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I have absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'll be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There's something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him, face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in the line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future.
However,
he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. And young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I had gone with him, I would have never had a chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell how she looked. A bunch of motorcycles roaming down the highway. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However...
But there's one thing I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However...
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need him to step out of his shadow. I'm gonna have to snooze this another ad. Get on with it.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever, I have no doubt he forgot me years ago. But you're family. Just to cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart and soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of the store, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember the hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should be open without much trouble. Good job! We would have been in trouble if you hadn't done that. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... I was wondering where that thing went to. Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long the ladder was. I'm so exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. And with that said, we are going to call it end of stream. Okay, so my throat's a little sore. All that talking. Talk. I thought this would be the one stream where I didn't do a lot of talking. I was so wrong. Alright, let's see who's actually live right now. There's Knots, but we have gone to him a bit. Then there's Killian Music. Let's see if there's anyone else. Oh yeah, it was intense. Oh, definitely. Definitely intense. So there really is no one else. So I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you want to go to Knots or Killian Music? Knots. I'm good either way. Yeah, let's go to Knots. Alright. I'm putting up the raid message. Ooh. Alrighty then. Let me make sure I copied that right. Yep, copied. Alright, so let's go ahead and start raiding out to Nauseous. I think that's right. The raid settings do not allow me to raid at this time. I guess he doesn't want anyone raiding in. Oh well. It's probably a good thing in the long run. Who knows? Well, we'll try to go Killian. How's that? I'm guessing he's about to raid out himself. That's fair. Killian Music. He's a pretty okay guy. You know. I don't know him personally, but he seems alright on the surface. Alright. Yep. 3 viewers ready to raid Killian in 6 seconds. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate you guys joining me here for like these 3 hours. My throat's sore. I'm sorry. Hopefully tomorrow or Friday it will be Zansu that streams. I know he's really chomping at the bit to get back into streaming. Our schedules have been a little wonky. We're trying. Not everything's cleared up with what happened with Mom passing. Makuhita has appeared in the chat. If you want to try to catch it, now's your chance. I think. Maybe it's not. Maybe we don't have time. Oh well. I don't see anyone trying to catch it, so I'll go ahead and raid out. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you have a great day.